What's up, fellow therapists? Brannon, the liberated therapist, here with you today. And boy, do I have a treat for you. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things and why it can help you in way more ways than you can possibly imagine when it comes to building your practice, getting out of burnout, and scaling up. So we are talking about podcasting. Podcasting has been, oh my goodness, such a huge part of my career, of the ways that I built my businesses. I started as a therapist that just wanted a full caseload. That's all I wanted, just clients, like, please. I got busy fast, and I built that caseload up, and I realized, oh my gosh, what have I done to myself? I'm so busy, and I'm so burned out. I'm doing 30 sessions a week, and I'm running 5 groups, and this is crazy. And I thought, I got to do something different. How do I do something different? And so it was awesome that I had a full caseload. But then it hit me. I needed to start a podcast, and I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into, and I didn't understand all of the good benefits that a podcast gives to a therapist. So I think any therapist who is an expert, who has a niche, who has a position in the market should consider podcasting. And I'm going to show you those benefits that you may not even be thinking of. So stay to the end of this video, because right toward the end, I get to benefits that are awesome in a practice, in building out a business, and what I use my podcast for that other people don't. So as therapists, we can use our podcast for all kinds of things. But first, I think the most obvious one to talk about is I use it to build trust with people. My voice is recognizable to thousands of people, and I've never met them. They know me, they trust me, they understand who I am, and I've never met them. Now that's awesome, because when they have somebody struggling with something and I've already built that trust, I get client referrals from people who've never met me. I have a person who told me that my voice actually helps them regulate their emotions, because they've listened to me so many times that they can use the podcast to calm themselves down. I know that sounds a little weird, but think about how much trust I have with them. Another thing with podcasting is I get to be in places that other people don't get to go. When somebody is jogging all alone early in the morning, and they're in that theta state of mind, so to speak, they're in that deep contemplation, I'm there, I'm talking to them, and I'm walking them through a difficult thing in their life. I'm showing them how to navigate something, all because I got behind a microphone. Talk about trust. Talk about rapport. I'm building it with them. So this is obvious. This is why a lot of people podcast. They're trying to build credibility. They're trying to build trust. But with therapy especially, it's awesome. I'll have people come in to my office for an intake, and I'll sit down with them for the first time. And one of the things I have to ask them is, do you know me already? That's a weird question to ask because we've never met. And 90% of the time they say, yeah, I've been listening to you for years. I can't believe I'm sitting in your office with you. And I already have done that hard work, and we can just get moving in therapy because the trust is already there. So pre-sold clients walk through the door. It's awesome. Okay, secondly, and this is incredible, but podcasting is a form of inbound marketing. So outbound marketing is when you have to go try to find people to get into your practice. So that's things like Google ads, Meta ads. You're paying a marketing agency to go find people. That's outbound marketing. Inbound marketing is when you throw yourself out there to the world and people like you and they trust you, and then they come find you. So you're not in their face. You're not being salesy. You're not trying to do that. They find you because they're getting value from you without you having to sell anything to them. And then they trust you, they like you, and they come in. So I can't tell you how much more bang for your buck you get with inbound marketing versus outbound marketing. I have wasted so much money on outbound marketing, and I can't even compare the two because podcasting is so much cheaper. It's so much better. The cost for client acquisition is night and day, and I have hardly spent any money podcasting. Podcasting also, when it comes to marketing, is good for SEO. You're building credibility. So if you have episodes on your webpage, you're showing Google that you are credible. So it's helping with some outbound marketing as well because you're just building credibility with SEO. Another really cool thing with it is I call it the referral ripple effect. Is when you podcast and you're in somebody's ear as they're jogging or doing yard work or whatever, and you're talking about a specific topic, and they're thinking like, oh my goodness, my best friend deals with this all the time. I'm going to send her this episode. Click, click, episode sent. Best friend is calling whose office for therapy within the next week or two. That's how it works, referral ripple effect. You're talking to somebody, they're making a client referral because they're listening to you and you've never met them. I've gotten so many referrals from people that say, my sister listens to your podcast. Oh, okay. Podcasting solidifies your niche, helps you to actually own it. And not only are you like, yeah, I'm the expert on this, you show that you are when you podcast. It's long-form content. You're in the trenches, at least the type of podcasting that I do. I show that I've been there and I know what I'm talking about. I have tools, I have skills, I have an ability to listen, I have an ability to show up for people in important ways to help them along their journey in recovery. That's what I do on my podcast. So when I show people that I know how to do that, they know that I'll be able to do that with them. All right, here's the other thing to think about with podcasting. You're building credibility, but it also starts to build an ecosystem with your business. And what I mean by that is when you learn how to create content, when you learn how to sit behind a mic and talk, you also are learning how to take your intellectual property and package it up and put it into things like courses and other content. You become the authority in your niche, and then you take that and you can start to package it and sell products online. And it's not that hard. Once you've podcasted, once you have a few hundred episodes, you take that and you say, okay, I know my audience wants this. I'm going to package it up now and give it to them. When I started my first podcast, we were talking about betrayal. We were talking about things like broken trust and addiction. And our audience was saying, will you please give us some help with broken trust? How do you rebuild trust? So we packaged up a program on how to rebuild trust that was a step-by-step process to rebuild trust in a relationship harmed by betrayal. We put it in a program, and we put it out there online, and we sold, I think the first day we sold like $60,000 worth of that program. And the beauty of it was when I recorded that program, it was just like I was doing another podcast episode. Each section we just did on a specific topic, but it was just like doing another podcast episode. I had learned how to do it, and then we learned how to package it up and sell it. Another thing about podcasting that is incredible, when you have thousands of people listening to you at once, a lot of clinics struggle to start group programs because they don't have enough clients at once in order to start those groups. When I say on my podcast, hey, I'm opening another group on this at this date, I have 15 clients ready to go like that, and we can start the group with a good number of people. So podcasting gives you more exposure so that you can build those groups out. Groups are far more profitable and I believe in many ways more effective than individual therapy. So podcasting is going to help you to actually install that group program that you've always wished that you could because you podcasted. Very important. As you become an authority in the space, you can write books, you can book speaking events. Podcasting opens up all of these possibilities because people listen to you, and it's not just clients, it's also people who want your expertise to speak at conferences and at events. And because you're out there in the world, people can find you. So income streams, online courses, memberships, communities, workshops, retreats, even sponsorship on your podcast, you can create some income. You're building an asset. Your podcast is a massive asset that then feeds your clinic and feeds your practice. So it opens up all the possibilities of scale because you are podcasting, because you are creating that content. So I promised you some secret bonuses about podcasting, and I think these things are so cool. But before I do, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also check out Therapy Co. because at Therapy Co. I walk therapists through all of the little tricks in order to scale up your business and not be burned out. So come check me out at Therapy Co. And now let's get into these bonuses about podcasting. Bonus number 1, I use my podcast to train my therapists. I have over 1,000 episodes. I'll take 15 interesting episodes or things that I think my therapists need to learn, and I'll say, guys, orientation, I want you to go listen to these 15 episodes. You'll understand my philosophies, you'll understand my style, you'll understand things that are important to me by listening to those 15 episodes. Boom, training program for my therapist, 15 episodes of podcasts. Who knew when I was podcasting I was creating a training program for my therapists? Another thing that podcasting does, I'll be sitting in a therapy session and we'll be talking about something, and the client will say, yeah, I struggle with this thing. And I'll remember, episode 320. And I'll be able to say, hey, go check out 320. And I want to talk to you about it next week. And it's awesome because it helps not only in that session, I give them a resource, they have another touch point during the week of me. They're getting that psychoeducation, and it's helping them clinically. It's a tool that I use to help my clients because I have good content there that will help them. So I got a bank of it. I can now disperse it and use it how I want, here, there, everywhere. It's incredible. Such an asset. Another thing that it does, I kind of have 3 more. So another thing that it does is it provides an opportunity for me to network with other clinical experts around me. So I will invite them on my podcast as guests. They'll invite me on. If they're an expert on OCD and I'm an expert on betrayal, then when I have an OCD client, I refer them over to them. And when they have a betrayal client, so I've networked with them all because I've recorded a podcast episode with them. And they trust me and they know I'm an expert because we've had a long form conversation and I built somewhat of a relationship with them. Boom. Now I'm helping my clients better because I have more referrals, more resources, and I'm getting more business in the door because I've networked with people. All because I produced a podcast. Okay, the next one is, and this was an interesting one. You're creating a living library of your clinical philosophy and of your legacy. Podcasting lives forever. My episodes are out there on Apple and Spotify from years ago. I have content forever. Now, some of that content's not so great, but a lot of it is. And when I die, people can still use it if they want to. Or my kids can go look back and say, hey, I'm going to go listen to Dad. Yeah, he's talking about betrayal, but at least I can listen to him and look what he did. Like, look how he stepped in the arena. Look how he lived his life. And a podcast actually holds that for you. It documents your, I know I've been doing this so long, it's documented my philosophical progression. Now, you're not going to go do this, but if you went and listened to all of my episodes from episode 1 until now, you'll see how I've changed. And podcasting has done that for me. And the last benefit, and this is an interesting one, is we don't know where this whole AI thing is going. But I've talked to some experts, and they've said, look, the people who are going to be really valuable are the ones who have original content. They're the ones who have created it themselves. So what that means is, like, because I have thousands of episodes of podcasting, I don't know where this AI thing is going, but maybe, just maybe, an AI can listen to all my episodes and they'll understand how I talk, what my style is, and that can be used to produce other products. Now, that might freak some of you out. That might push you away from podcasting. For me, that's exciting because I'm excited about the future and where that goes. And if it's beneficial for me to use the content that I've created to actually use AI to create other cool things with it, I'm down. So, should you do a podcast? I know some of you might be thinking, like, I'm not that person. I'm not a podcaster. I'm a therapist. I wasn't that person. I was just a therapist. I promise you that if you can sit down with a client and do that first ever clinical session, that's a little bit scary. Then you can sit behind one of these, a mic, and you can learn how to speak into a mic. And you can learn how to speak to a camera. And it's easier than speaking to a difficult client. And yet it's so worth it. Now, I want to warn you, when you start podcasting, nobody's going to listen because you're just starting. So the first 3, 5, 10 episodes, you might want to quit. I don't want to do this. No one's listening. My vulnerability is too much, and I'm scared that. Sit in that. Just sit there and keep producing that content. If you know your content is important to the world, then putting it out there is important, and people are going to start to find you. And stay the course for a while. You'll get better at it. You'll be able to deliver better content. So that's my pointer. Now, I will get more into specifics of how to actually create a podcast. It's really not that hard. But in other videos, you'll be able to see that. So look for that. And don't forget to subscribe. And I can't wait to see you over at Therapy Co., where I can help you scale up your business and stop being a burned out therapist. Come be liberated with me.